Hi, hope you are doing well. Let's get started with the interview. The first question is, what are guards in Angular? Okay, uh, guards guards are basically used in Angular to secure the route from performing some actions before navigating into another route or leaving the current route. Uh, so guards are also used to prevent unauthenticated users to access a particular route. So we can actually there are different types of guards that are available in Angular. So we can use those guards to prevent unauthenticated or unauthorized users from accessing our application routes. So this is the basic purpose of guards. Okay, so can you mentioned like there are different types of guards. So can you explain what are the guards that are available in Angular? Yeah, sure. So there are different guards that I have already mentioned. Like few of them are can activate, can deactivate, resolve guard, can load guard, and can activate child. So these are the different guards that are available in Angular. Okay. So can you give a practical example use case of an unauthenticated user trying to access our application? So which guard you will be using in your application? Okay. Yeah. So out of the 5 guards that I have mentioned, so we can use the can activate guard. So this can activate guard actually decides whether a route needs to be activated, which means that whether we can actually render a component or not. So basically we will be using can activate guard to check if the user has logged in or if the user has any permission to access that particular route. So the for unauthenticated users I will be going ahead with the can activate guard. Okay. So can you please explain, there is another route, right? Can activate child. So what is the difference between can activate and can activate child? Okay, yeah. So there are two different types of can activate. One is the can activate guard, and the other one is the can activate child guard. The purpose of both the routes are same, but the major difference is that when we apply can activate to a particular route, and if the particular route is having child routes, so all those routes will be guarded by using the can activate on the parent. So the user would be restricted if it is an unauthenticated user and we are using that can activate guard. So the parent as well as the child root gets protected, the guarded because of the usage of can activate. But say for example we want to guard only the give guard only to the child roots and not to the parent. The parent root should be allowed and the child root should be prevented. So in that case actually we can go for the can activate child guard. So in that scenario we will be using can activate child guard when we need to protect the roots of the child and we have to allow the parent guard. In that case we can use the can activate child. Okay, what is can deactivate guard, and can you explain any practical scenario where we will be implementing this can deactivate guard? Yeah, sure. So can deactivate guard would be used in scenarios where the user wants to navigate from one particular route to another route. So during that time, as a validation, so you can implement the can deactivate route. By this, what I mean is that one practical implementation scenario for can deactivate guard is I am having one particular form. Okay, so in this particular form, I have started filling the details in the form, and I have not saved this particular data anywhere. So unknowingly or unintentionally I have clicked on other portion of the other area of the application where it is actually redirecting me to another particular route. So I don't want that to happen. Actually I want to get a confirmation whether you want to move away from this particular page to another page. So for that I can use the I can implement the can deactivate. So it will prevent the user from moving from one route to another route unintentionally. So it will prompt a confirmation window would be there. Are you sure you want to move, stay on this page or move away to the new page. That so for that case, actually I will be going ahead with the can deactivate guard. Okay. Can you please explain why we are actually using Angular resolve guard? Okay. Yeah, so the resolve guard, so that will actually help us to load required data before we navigate to a route. So by this what I meant is like, whenever we are actually navigating to a route, Angular will actually rendering that particular component. Once the component is rendered, then it will be actually sending an HTTP request to the API to fetch data, and it will be then displaying to the user. So sometimes there can be a scenario like the component has been rendered, but we are waiting for the data, and it will be showing an empty. So say for example, I am having a table or data that needs to be fetched from backend server. So that will be showing as an empty data. So we can actually remove that using a loading indicator, but there are some performance issues related, because if it takes some time, then it will be user will be prompted with that loading indicator for a long time. So instead of this loading indicator, before we navigate to this particular route, we can actually use the resolve guard. So resolve guard will actually make sure that the data is available. Then only the user needs to be routed to this particular route. So the resolve guard will be fetching that data in a prefetched manner. Like it will be the data would be fetched, and then it will be actually navigating to that route. So the user need not wait. So once the component is rendered, along with that, the user is having that data. So along with the rendering, the user would be able to display, user would be able to view the data. So for that purpose, we will be using the resolve guard. Okay. Can you please explain what is can load guard? So we have seen other guards, right? So now can you please explain in what scenarios we will be using, what is a can load guard, and in what scenarios we will be using that? So can load guard basically is used to prevent loading that particular lazy loaded module. So in Angular we have the lazy loading feature. So if you want to say that this particular lazy loaded child can be loaded or not, so that is being decided by the can load guard. So what we can the practical scenario is if you don't want that any unauthorized user to navigate to any of the routes that is available in the module. So and also the user need not see what is there in that source code of that module. So in that case, actually we can use the can load guard. Okay. So we can wrap this particular session for today. So there are many other concepts that needs to be discussed. So how you will be implementing all these guards. So that is that we can cover in the upcoming sessions. So it was a great time. So thanks a lot for your time, and all the best.